IRDAI and AI, the High Stakes Insurance Balancing Act. All right, let's dive right into this explainer, because there is a massive behind-the-scenes shift happening in the financial world right now. We're talking about how the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, better known as the IRDAI, is stepping in to regulate the incredibly fast and honestly, sometimes wild world of artificial intelligence in insurance. Now, if you've been paying any attention to the tech space lately, you know AI is completely rewriting the rulebook, literally everywhere. But when it comes to your insurance, we're talking about your health, your life, your property. The stakes here are uniquely high. So today, we're going to break down exactly how regulators are attempting this really delicate balancing act. Is AI secretly deciding your insurance? Well, picture this for a second. You submit a medical claim after a scary emergency, or maybe you're applying for a new life insurance policy, and bam, within a fraction of a second, you are rejected. Or suddenly, your premium is set at double what you expected. And the crazy part? There's no human on the other end. No explanation. Just an algorithm that has secretly, instantly decided your financial fate. Kind of terrifying, right? Well, this isn't some far-off science fiction. It's precisely why regulators are taking immediate action. The invisible hand of AI is already digging into your insurance files, and authorities are realizing that without strict oversight, that hand could be operating with unchecked biases and absolutely zero accountability. At the very core of this whole issue is a massive tug-of-war. On one side, you have fast-paced AI industry innovation. Insurers obviously want to use machine learning to process claims in milliseconds or detect fraud with superhuman accuracy. I mean, it's incredibly efficient. But on the exact opposite side, you have policyholder data protection and consumer interests. The IRDAI is trying to balance this lightning-fast efficiency with the absolute necessity of protecting your highly sensitive personal data. They have to make sure that in this massive rush to modernize, your fundamental rights and your right to fair treatment aren't just accidentally trampled by some rogue algorithm. To really get a handle on their approach, you just have to look at their actual mandate. The IRDA explicitly states their goal is to, quote, guide insurers on the responsible adoption, governance, and oversight of AI technologies. This specific phrasing is a big deal. It shows us the regulators aren't trying to just kill innovation. They're not throwing up a red light and screaming at the industry to stop using AI. Actually, it's the opposite. They want to establish a mature, sustainable framework for it. They want the industry to innovate, for sure, but they are absolutely demanding that this innovation is governed responsibly and overseen closely. So that brings up the million-dollar question. How do you actually regulate something as unbelievably complex and fast-moving as artificial intelligence? 7. To tackle this, the IRDAI has formed a highly exclusive, highly specialized working group of exactly 7 members. That's it. This isn't one of those massive, slow-moving bureaucratic committees that takes years to do anything. By keeping it to just 7 experts, the IRDAI is sending a clear signal. They need agility, they need deep expertise, and they need decisive action fast. And the actual makeup of this elite team? It tells us everything about their strategy. You've got Professor Sandeep K. Shukla, the director of IIT Hyderabad, in the chairperson seat, bringing that top-tier academic leadership. But look at who he's joined by. We have cybersecurity heavyweights like India's National Cyber Defense Agency, CERT-In, and a Reserve Bank's IT arm, Rebit. And then you have the actual industry veterans on the ground. Folks from SBI Life, Star Health, and ICICI Lombard. It is a brilliant mix. You get the academics who understand the deep theory, the cyber experts anticipating the latest hacks, and the insurers who know exactly what's actually feasible in the day-to-day market. The 5 battlegrounds, IRDAI's core objectives. Let's see exactly what this group is tackling. They are rigorously analyzing the entire life cycle of AI in insurance across 5 key areas. Number 1, current deployment assessment. Basically, what are insurers already doing? Number 2, data security and privacy, making sure everything aligns with national safeguards. 3, ethical AI integration. 4, mitigating the brand new cyber vulnerabilities that AI actually introduces. And 5, transparency and explainability. The crucial takeaway here is that they aren't just looking at one isolated piece of the puzzle, it's a completely holistic sweep of the industry's entire technological landscape. Now let's zero in on one of the absolute biggest threats here, algorithmic bias. What is it? It's a flaw in AI programming that can lead to unfair risk profiling, inaccurate outcomes, and customer discrimination. This is the stuff that directly impacts your wallet. See, if an AI model is trained on historical data that already contains human prejudices, well, the AI is just going to learn and amplify those prejudices. Without ethical integration, a biased AI could unfairly charge you way higher premiums or even deny you coverage entirely, just based on a flawed, automated profile of your zip code, your background, or your medical history. And there's a really direct, real-world connection between the shiny new tools insurers are using right now and the specialized threats they create. When insurers use machine learning for underwriting, boom, it opens the door to that algorithmic bias and unfair profiling we just talked about. Automated claims processing, that leads to the massive risk of unexplainable auto-rejections. And look at customer chatbots and front-end systems. Those expose insurers to incredibly sophisticated modern attacks, like deepfakes. This exact matrix of vulnerabilities is what the working group has to actively neutralize to keep consumers safe. Transparency, making AI-driven decisions explainable. This brings us to what is probably the most consumer-facing battleground of them all. It is absolutely vital that we get strict accountability standards. The days of the computer says no without giving you a single reason, those days have to end. Regulators are pushing hard for systems where, whenever an AI sets your premium or rejects a medical claim, the decision is entirely fair and fully explainable to you. Basically, if you ask why your rate went up, the insurance company has to be able to pry open the black box of their AI and give you a clear, logical, and legally sound human answer. Now, you might be sitting there wondering, okay, when is all of this actually going to happen? 3. The ticking clock is what adds some serious urgency to this whole thing. The working group has a strict 3-month timeline to submit its formal recommendations and governance roadmap back to the IRDA. 3 months! In the regulatory world, that is literally the blink of an eye. It just highlights how unbelievably fast the AI landscape is shifting and how desperate the IRDI is to get these guardrails up before the technology completely outpaces the law. The foundation for India's future AI regulatory framework. This matters right now, and not just if you're shopping for insurance. Because of the heavy hitters involved, remember, we've got CERT-In and IIT Hyderabad in the room, these recommendations aren't just going to sit in a drawer. They'll likely become the actual bedrock for India's entire formal regulatory framework for AI in the insurance ecosystem, and honestly, they could easily set a precedent for other financial sectors too. We are literally watching the real-time drafting of the rules that will govern financial tech for the next decade. How will regulatory frameworks keep up with AI in your financial life? That's the massive, looming question we have to wrap up this explainer with. We've seen the IRDAI is moving fast, bringing in top minds and tackling everything from deepfakes to algorithmic bias. But with technology advancing at an exponential, breakneck speed, can any static regulatory roadmap, even one drafted by total geniuses, truly keep pace with the explosive evolution of artificial intelligence? It's a huge challenge, and honestly, the safety of our data and our wallets depends entirely on whether regulators can win this race. Thanks for learning with me today. And hey, keep questioning the algorithms around you.